Breaking news coming out of the NFL, the Rams have signed head coach Sean McVay and general manager Snead to multi-year extensions. The pair are entering their 10th season together with the Rams, winning Super Bowl 56 during the 2021 season. McVay is the youngest coach in the NFL history to win a Super Bowl and was named Coach of the Year back in 2017. His coaching tree has now provided 7 head coaches across the NFL. Snead, meanwhile, has been with the Rams as GM since 2012 and has seen LA make the playoffs in 7 of the past 9 seasons.
But to your point, that Arctic flow down Florida is just messing with everybody. But we've got you covered. We're back on track for Super Bowl week out in Santa Clara. Last time these two clubs faced off for the Lombardi Trophy, it decided the 2014 season with dramatic finish. Malcolm Butler, that iconic Super Bowl moment, intercepting Russell Wilson's pass to the goal line to deny the Seahawks back-to-back titles. Both teams arrived in San Jose, but it was pretty good, I'd say. Our Pete Prisco puts our weekly NFL power rankings together during the regular season. Now he's shifting to player rankings ahead of the big game. Of the top 10 players on this list, 7 are Seahawks. Of the top 20 that we'll talk about, 12 are Seattle players. So let's bring in the aforementioned Pete Prisco, who will be keeping his Super Bowl streak alive when he gets to the Bay Area later this week, and someone who knows the Bay well. Rand Carthon joining us with any agreements, disagreements, thoughts about Pete Prisco's power rankings. So, Pete, let's start with number 1, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Top player, is there a clear 1v2, or where did you arrive with JSN at the top?
Oh, no, he's a clear 1, and I don't think there's any question about that. By the way, before I get into the specifics of the rankings, I want to say this. I've been doing this for a long time. This Super Bowl does not have star power, not many at all. And, usually even you have a couple offensive linemen, they're not star power, but they're great players at their position. You don't have that either. And it's a tribute to both coaches and both organizations for getting here, because they did it with a lot of, players that are good players, but not a lot of great players. So that's when I do the rankings. I kind of went through this, and I said I haven't done this in a long time in terms of coming up with rosters that really don't have a lot of star talent. So Smith-Njigba is a star, and there's no question about that. And he's the best player in this game. He has a real chance to be the offensive player of the year. And what he does and the way they move him around, he's going to be a real problem for the Patriots. So he's the clear number 1 in my book.
Yeah, I don't feel like arguing with Pete this fine morning. I think I agree. I agree that Jackson Smith-Njigba is 1. I wouldn't say that it's clear and he's head and shoulders above everyone else, because I also think Drake May is a star, which I know we'll get to him next. But to Pete's point, the way that these two organizations, these two GMs have built these rosters and the way these coaches coach, I think is more of a testament to those guys. And one guy we don't talk about enough, even throughout this whole process, is Elliott Wolf and the job he's done in building this roster. There was a lot of people and players that they already had that were already here on the roster in New England, but Elliott's done a really nice job in partnering with Mike Vrabel and building this team.
Yeah, it's been interesting. A lot of love for John Schneider, what Seattle's been doing, but Rand, you're right when it comes to New England. And now that you've worked a full season with Pete Prisco, we just know that he hates doing more work. Basically, he's saying Super Bowl 60, I had to spend more time working on this player rankings than I have in the past. Pete, you mentioned Drake May. Let's talk about the number 2 player on your list.
Yeah, and look, Drake May is on the way to being a superstar quarterback. There's no question. And he's in the MVP voting this year. So he's number 2. I just think Smith-Njigba had a better season in terms of, look, the quarterback's always the most valuable. But when you look at what they did this year, Smith-Njigba was better at his position, just a little bit better than what Drake May was at quarterback. He's on his way to being a superstar, no question about it. He hasn't played well in the postseason, and that's a little bit concerning when you look at going into this game, because you look at his numbers in the playoffs, he's turned the ball over, he's been hit a lot. He has run the ball, but he hasn't been effective as well in terms of throwing the football as he was in the regular season. So some concern, but he's the number 2 in this spot.
Yeah, big fan of Drake May. I think we all are. And like Pete said, this guy's an MVP candidate. Will likely finish in the runner-up in terms of the MVP candidate, but going into his 3rd year next year, this guy's on the right track of being a bona fide superstar in the league. And to Pete's point about him not having played well throughout the playoffs, to me, this just sets up and reminds me a lot of Tom Brady's first Super Bowl. He wasn't as
Cardinals team.
Yeah, let's delve into the offseason situation for the Cardinals because as you brought up the offense and most notably Kyler Murray, my question to you is where should LaFleur start with this team? Is it figuring out if Kyler Murray is your guy and you can somehow get him to fit your scheme and do what you want him to do to have success? Or do you look somewhere else in the offseason to solve the issues for Arizona?
Well, I think if you're Arizona, when you get a new head coach, the first thing you have to do is establish the relationship between the head coach, especially an offensive-minded guy like LaFleur, and the quarterback. You want to find out who's going to be your guy, who's going to be under center, who's going to be tossing the ball around. And I'll be honest, I know a lot of people have sat up here and said that we expect Kyler Murray to be dealt. We expect him to be either cut or traded before the start of the season. Well, why not let Mike LaFleur come in and try to develop Kyler Murray? I mean, similar to what we're seeing with Ben Johnson in Chicago with Caleb Williams, I think Mike LaFleur has the ability to come in and make Kyler Murray play at the quarterback level in the National Football League. Not just be a playmaker, not just scramble around and make plays, but play within a system, play on time, play in rhythm. And if he can do that, I do think that can unlock Marvin Harrison Jr. because when you look at it, Marvin Harrison Jr., he played much better but when Jacoby Brissett was behind center. Now, does that mean Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback? No, but that means Jacoby Brissett is used to playing on time. When Marvin Harrison was getting the ball where he expected it to be, when he expected it to be there, we saw a better version of Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think you start with the quarterback position, and I think Kyler Murray might be the answer for one more year to see if that development can be had.
How much do you think the league might just need to learn, hey, be patient with these QBs, give them more chances than just 1, 2, or 3, maybe given what Sam Darnold's doing?
I was going to say, I mean, do we need another Sam Darnold story? Do we need another Daniel Jones pre-Achilles? I mean, I think we're starting to see. There was a trend for a couple of years where number 1 picks, first overall pick quarterbacks would come in and they would have an immediate impact. I mean, you think about guys like Cam Newton came in, rookie of the year, all world type players, but we're not seeing that type of talent. I think that that's a lack of development in the college level. And then I think that once these guys get to the NFL, the expectation put on by the media, by the coaches, by the team, I think it's just too much for these guys to overcome at times. So I think that there's nothing wrong with letting a guy like Kyler Murray develop, because even as much as we can sit here and point some of the blame on him, it's not like he's had the best coaching offensively either. He hasn't had the best quarterback coach. He hasn't been in the best system. I mean, again, this has been the worst team in the league over the past 4 seasons for a reason. It's been players and it's been coaching as well. So I think, again, if you're Mike LaFleur, you want to see if you can put your DNA on Kyler Murray, if you can, again, make him play within a system, make him play like an NFL quarterback, let his legs be an advantage, but again, improve him as a passer, improve his mechanics and the way he sees the football field. And I'm not going to say you're going to have a Sam Darnold type return where you're going to get to the Super Bowl because, again, this Cardinals team, they have a lot of work to do outside of that. But again, you never know what's going to happen if you just give these quarterbacks, these young guys, time to develop.
Yeah, one way or another, Arizona just wants a better offense, and however that happens, it happens. Can say the same thing for the Raiders, who are going to hire Clint Kubiak as their next head coach. Won't be made official until after the Super Bowl, but it's now the second year